Just how to respond to what they call an instrument of blackmail. Russia said it had no choice, but as Europe depends on Russia for more than a third of its gas needs, will its other EU customers bend to Moscow's pay demands and risk undermining Western sanctions? Well, joining me now is Cornelia Meyer, who is the CEO of Meyer Resources. Cornelia, great to see you. Thanks for being with us. So what's going to be top of the agenda at this meeting? How do they think they'll see a way through this?
Well, I think top of the agenda is talking about energy security. How are we ensuring that there is enough electricity supply, gas supply, oil supply? And in terms of sanctions, the top of the agenda will be the oil sanctions. And you see a rift between the countries that have old refineries that are geared towards Russian-grade crudes like Urals and so on, and the countries with more modern refineries who can more easily switch, which is why Germany is much more upfront in terms of wanting to get, to wean itself off Russian oil. Gas is a totally different matter.
Yeah, and different countries have different needs and different dependence on Russian gas and oil. So is that going to cause a split, and how big an issue is that going to be if it does?
I think on the oil side, it's not going to be that big a rift, and you will see some countries, maybe Hungary and some other countries, who may opt out or opt in later, but those things will happen. With gas, the thing is just, for countries like Germany, who get between 40 and 50% of their gas supplies, very heavily dependent on Russia. They need to get new gas in. They need to get LNG in. LNG contracts run, usually long-term supply contracts run for 25 years. There's not enough LNG around, and there's not enough of the receiving infrastructure around. So it's not that easy, but they're working at it, and they think in 2 years or so they will be ready to get themselves out of Russian gas.
Yeah, and Russia cutting off the gas supplies last week to Poland and Bulgaria. Have other countries going to be keeping a close eye on that? And I guess some will be more alarmed than others, just depending on how reliant they are and how easy they'll find it to find those resources elsewhere.
Well, it's not that easy, but Poland is very heavily dependent on coal. So, gas is important, but not that important. For Germany, it would be different. But you see that the countries who are really dependent on the Russian gas, even the Slovakias of this world, they're going with the structure that Gazprom has suggested, which is you pay in euros or in dollars into Gazprom Bank, and you have another account in Gazprom Bank, which then converts into dollars. So some people who really depend on the gas will be willing to go along. Let's not forget, if you have a steel furnace or you produce glass, if you even are off for a few hours of your energy supplies, this furnace and your glass oven will have to be scrapped for good. So there are real jobs and real industrial needs attached to this.
Cornelia, great to see you as ever. Thanks for your analysis.
Thank you.